Oh shit, we started. Man, I was just grooving to the music right there. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing all right. It's 4:07 p.m. on the East Coast. That means it's time to get started. Is Bleeves and I kicking it off as we normally do on Monday afternoon. Sorry we're late. I had to get a CT scan for my fight in Dubai next month, and so they did not accept my EEG from the karate combat fight. So I went to go get a CT scan. I tell you what, that was weird. That was quick. A little bit quicker than I thought it was going to be, but not a fan of going into the machine. Better than an MRI, though.
Hey, I got my wisdom teeth removed last week,
Oof.
and on both sides. And oh man, what a miserable week! I don't eat a lot to begin with, but it's even worse now because I'm just eating like mashed potatoes and just garbage for the last week.
So let me ask you a question. Should we expect your IQ to go down now that you've lost some wisdom teeth?
It wasn't that high anyway. I don't think it's going to have any overall effect to begin.
That is one thing that I know that so I think I've got like a cavity in one of my wisdom teeth. It's like not a bad one, right? It's just like there.
Yeah.
And so my dentist was like, probably like if I were you, I'd just wait and see what happens with it. If it gets worse, then we'll just pull it. And so like it doesn't bother me, it doesn't affect me. So I just know that they're gonna want to take all four. What's that called? Impacted when they take them all?
Yeah. Well, and it's impacting when it hits the other teeth and it starts to
Oh,
mess up your other teeth, and that's why I had to have mine removed because back here I had the second molar was starting to push down, and it was affecting my ability to close my mouth.
oof.
Yeah, I my teeth were just kind of messed up where like I'm still kind of learning how to move my mouth around and talk again, and that tooth was just kind of like in the way, you know what I mean? And as soon as it stopped, now it's starting to fix itself again.
Well, that's good. We get one set of eyes. You typically get one set of teeth unless you opt for the fake ones. So got to take care of that stuff.
Or unless you're part shark,
Ooh.
like Elon Musk.
Do you think the lizard people that like walk among us, do you think they have like that extra rows of teeth?
I think they just all work at Tesla.
Okay. I'm all for it. I would get a job at Tesla. I would drive a Tesla. Would you drive a Tesla ever?
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, I was annoyed because Tesla prices were about 47 to 50,000 during the pandemic. They were kind of high.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a 2022 Chevy Equinox. And I got the LT and I like it. I mean, it's okay. But not 90 days afterwards, they reduced prices by like
Oh,
$7,500 on all Tesla models. I was furious.
I
I
can
was
imagine.
fucking furious.
I want to get an X. That's what I'm hopeful for. I love the butterfly wing doors on the back and
Yeah.
whatever they're called. You rugged. You rugged, sir.
Uh-oh.
You are
Can
frozen.
you see me now?
I can see you now. Yeah.
All right. So I would have got whatever the SUV model is, the Model S, I think. That's the one that I want. Or that's the one that I'm gonna end up getting pretty soon anyway.
Same. That to me is the coolest one. I mean, there's at the end of the day, it's really interesting. If you've never been in a Tesla, I was maybe a couple years ago was the first Tesla that I went into, and it was out in LA. It was an Uber, and it's just so different. Like the combustible engine, like the normal cars that you hit the gas and you kind of feel the engine go, and then it goes. Whereas the Tesla, it's just you press the gas and it goes. Like there's
Yeah.
no, it's just pew, pew.
Yeah, there was a talk a while back that they were gonna put artificial sound on the outside of Teslas so that people can hear them coming. 'Cause they were
That's
worried that people would like get hit by cars because they couldn't hear them.
That's wild. It's like I've heard that about putting on the electric motorcycles,
Yeah.
putting some kind of exhaust sound there so you can hear. I mean, I get that. I think putting didn't they do that? They did that on the Ford Mach, right? The whatever it was, that station wagon Mustang thing.
Yeah, there was something that they did something like that with so that you could hear it coming, and it was just fake vehicle sounds so that people could see you like it's ridiculous. Like as long as you play down As long as you play down to the dumbest portion, you're always going to be a Packers fan. You know what I'm talking about?
I feel that, man. Feel that. Hey, stuff being a Bears fan though, it's tough. And when was it? We haven't beat the Packers since 2018 or 2019.
20 yeah, I since 2018, 11 in a row now.
What do we
There you go. Hyundai makes a car with fake engine noise. There are some that are out there that do this. It's just absolutely just bonkers.
That's just, to me, it's like false advertising. Like, if you're going to get the fucking electric vehicle, go with it. Like, you made your bed, now sleep in it. Like, why would you get an electric vehicle with like, I got to have that captain's call? You don't know what captain's call is. You're not a boater, but the captain's call.
I don't know. Like it, you know, for most people who know me, that socially I'm probably liberal.
Well, you're a
Fiscally,
white dude for Harris, so yeah.
yeah, fiscally conservative. So, I want low taxes. I want the government to stay out of my business. But also, if a dude's got a hoo-hoo, I want to call him ma'am. I don't have a problem with that. And if a chick gets a dick, I'll call you dude. I mean, I don't have a problem with any of this, So it is very, very. We're in a weird place. We'll just say we're in a weird place as a society right now.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Hey, listen, you know what can save us now? Crypto, baby. Bitcoin on a rip, doing all right today. Kind of bouncing. We're ranging to that 92 to 90, high 90,000 range. There's a lot of things that are kicking ass. You got HBAR up huge. Are you an HBAR fan?
It seems like I'm getting up and down. You know what I mean? Oh, there we go. Seems like I'm full now. My internet is just getting a little bit wonky right now.
Yeah, I noticed that sometimes there's a quite a bit of a delay between you and I. Hey, that's all right. We'll get through it. We'll get through it. Don't you worry, little lambs. Guys, make sure you
I'm about to get a new studio, and it'll be a wired connection.
Hey, all right.
I'm using Wi-Fi now. So.
That'll always help. That'll help. Guys, make sure you smash the like, hit the heart, do the things that you got to do. We are going to get into some conversations. We're going to talk about some of the new cabinet member picks. I think we're going to look at the pick for Treasury. Saylor, Michael strategy. I don't know, micro strategy, but I said Michael strategy. It kind of works.
It actually does. So much time where people thought, what a crazy guy, what an insano, and look at him now. He looks like a certified genius.
So the chat's saying there's something wrong with the streaming service. It's not something wrong with the streaming service. I don't think. You said it's your internet?
Yeah, so I'm in my office is all Wi-Fi. So that's all it is. And also, it doesn't help that this stupid microphone, somehow or another, I don't know if it's to draw on the power supply or what it is, but I bought a $4,000 laptop as my hub and hooked everything up. And this thing, like cuts out every 30 seconds or so for like a half second. So I don't know.
This is life.
Wild times.
Wild time it is. It is snowing in the UK. This guy's name is wrong. Just said no thank you. Like, no fucking thank you. Like, not at all. Not interested in any kind of snow. When you guys get any cold weather up there yet in Chicago? Should be starting pretty soon here, huh?
Used to take out my dog without my shirt until about 3 days before Halloween. And then it got under 50 on Halloween. So of all days, it gets wet, starts raining. It horrible weather, gets real cool. And that is the only cold day that we've had so far. The rest of them, and by the way, when I say that, it is not like in the South. Okay. So it's, mid 50s and stuff like that. The weather here. It has been unseasonably warm so far.
Well, that's always a good thing, especially leading up to, the November time. I mean, now will you go to any Bears games at all, or do you just do your videos while they're playing?
Yeah, let's do the videos
Because
while
I
it's
mean,
playing.
it's about to be cold in the stadium, unless it stays, nice for the fall.
I think the 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 weirdos that say, well, if it was one way this way and it was one way this way, it's going to be really bad. They're saying that it's going to be a really, really cold and snowy sort of winter here, but we have yet to see it. So shout out to global warming. You guys keep running those vehicles, please. Don't don't shut that shit down at all
Oh, we need like
until
greenhouse gas,
hey,
and
hey, until Florida's a desert, you guys are fine.
there you go. There you go. All right, let's talk about some of these things. The pro crypto administration coming up. There was some information about the pick for Treasury. I think it's kind of a controversial pick. There was a little bit back and forth in there. What were your thoughts on that?
So, are we talking Howard Lutnick here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a really good in my opinion, that's a really good he's a custodian for Tether at this point. He's with Cantor Fitzgerald,
Correct.
and this is gonna be this is a great opportunity to change the dynamic of the way we look at money. One of the things that we don't have a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. We don't have any kind of crypto in our portfolio. And I watch a lot of what I can only call dumbasses. And if you're an influencer out there and you're sharing this, you're one of them. But they're talking about how Germany didn't make like if Germany just would have held on to their Bitcoin, they would have made so much more money. There's laws in place that prevent them from hodling. There's laws in place that prevent the US from hodling. There are
Really?
certain specific moments where you have to sell. So, until somebody comes in and changes it, somebody from the treasury comes in, changes the dynamic of the way that we do stuff, then, they're gonna be forced to sell. So, I think that having somebody like Howard Lutnick, very big, and by the way, he's a custodian for crypto. That's important to have somebody like that in charge. And of course, liberal media is already saying, well, this is a conflict of interest because he already has crypto holdings and he's also been pro tether and stuff like that. Well, yeah, shut up.
Seriously, Trump's
There's
a
a
fucking holder.
mandate out
Katie
here.
Vance is a
And
holder. Kennedy's a holder. Like Elon's a holder. Like everyone holds crypto now. Fucking stop crying.
well, no, so the thing is, the Treasury Department, you remember, went after Tether, saying that Tether it facilitates. Tether is the US dollar of drug dealing, is what they're basically saying.
Right.
I, I
USDC
can't
full
even
and clean.
I
USDC
can't
clean.
even keep up with these idiot arguments anymore. Like it's so beyond the pale. Uh, the most people, if you're buying illegal drugs, you're doing it with dollars, right?
Right.
Unless somebody's kind of savvy, and then you're like, send me some Bitcoin instead, right? But you transact in US dollar. So what does the Treasury Department do? Well, they don't shut down production of the US dollar. They blame cryptocurrency.
Right.
Fucking assholes.
Well, I think what we could do collectively is just educate all of our drug dealers and cartels and all that stuff. And we should direct them to use USDT because that's the Russian and the Chinese money. We just want to keep it off USDC. We want to keep USDC nice and clean. That's our American stable coins. Like that's for us. Well, let's just dirty up Tether for those
Well, it
Russians.
will be. It will be. It's not yet.
Right. Well,
We're still tether
that's where
babies.
it's headed. What did you say there at the end there?
We're still tether babies. However, Brian Armstrong is meeting with Donald Trump in a private meeting in the next week. And since Coinbase is now the number one investor in Circle, there is a real possibility that USDC will start to blow up pretty soon.
Really?
Yep.
Well, what do you think it's going to go to? Like $1.01?
Yeah, it's probably going to go to $1.
I love it. I love when our stable coins hang tight, man.
But I
Hang
think the
tight.
market cap on it's like 32 billion. And I think the market cap on Tether is like 127 billion right now. So there's a long way to go for Circle's at 37 billion right now. So they had a long way to go to capitalize on market share. But I mean, if you look at the profitability of both of those companies, it's just out of control.
So I was just reading an article. Let me see. Can I pull this up so I'll show the folks viewing at home? Which, by the way, make sure you fucking smash the like and hit the heart. Don't be stingy. All right, that's what douchebags do. Is they don't hit the like button. Just real quick. But I'm reading an article. I pulled up an article that says, well, let me make sure I got there we go. That Trump is actually rethinking the Treasury pick, saying that Lutnick has been spending a lot of time around him in the last few weeks and it's annoying him.
Yeah. Which is a weird sort of thing, but also checks out for Donald Trump. I mean, it's not about your ability to do the job. It's not about your willingness to do the job. It's about your loyalty to Donald Trump, which is it's not a good sign, but the dude's been shot at a couple times. He's been, and like, I think even if you're a liberal and you have if you're liberal and there's a part of your brain that still functions, you should at least be able to see how Donald Trump could get the impression that people are out to get him. Did the Trump administration or the Trump campaign try to get help from Russia back in 2016? Yes, clearly they did. Did they also say we're not even smart enough to do shit like that? Yes, they did in 2016. Like they outright said it at the time. So then you have this 3-year quote unquote witch hunt, which did they try to do it? Yeah. Were they nefarious when doing it? No. I mean, that's the important part.
Right.
Nobody's evil out here trying to allow Russia to take over the United States. I mean, stupid. The argument is just ridiculous and beyond the pale. But you can make a reasonable argument across the board that they're out to get them. I think in New York, there's a civil trial. They trumped up some misdemeanors out of statute of limitation in order to create felonies. Alvin Bragg, I think his name was. So,
yeah.
It's not untoward to think that a guy who just won the popular vote and who also got a mandate in that the Senate is now Republican and the House is now Republican, has swept all branches of the government. It's not untoward to say that he should have people who are loyal to him doing the job that he wants done. So, maybe this guy doesn't work out. Maybe this guy's too independent. But the one thing that you can say about Howard Lutnick is that he has so far been a Donald Trump maxi the whole time. So
yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's trying to be his boyfriend or something. If he's hanging around too much and kind of being annoying, it's like that little yipper dog. He's got a little yipper dog for a friend.
A lot of people think that, and look, there's one thing that you have to be honest about is that Trump uses people until they're not useful anymore. Okay. He's ruined Rudy Giuliani. He's ruined almost everybody he's ever touched, like people. Well, the one thing that I like about Mark Cuban is honestly, he comes out and he says, I know a guy who Trump scammed for millions of dollars. He's a personal friend of mine. I know him. And nobody ever comes out and says the very simple thing. You talk about Mark Cuban, you did business with Mark Cuban, you made a bunch of money. You talk about Donald Trump, you did business with Donald Trump, you never saw your money again. You know what I mean? Like, there is a difference between it. So it's about loyalty to him. It's not about making money. And I don't think that some of these guys see that when it happens. Otherwise, people wouldn't surround themselves with it unless they're just star fuckers who are trying to get, celebrity status and stuff like that. Like I would do. You know what I mean? Like I would be parlaying that shit right away. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's really funny that you say that. It's a fine balance that you do have to kind of play, whether there's ethics and morals. But at the end of the day, like, all that's the attention stuff, right? It's all attention economy. And so you take a lesson from that playbook and you have to really think and analyze some of it. And you're like, while some of it is wild, and a lot of those allegations are what they are, a lot of it is like he's like a shock jock for the political world now. Like, he was an entertainer. He was literally an entertainer and chose to enter into the political world, which I think at the end of the day, like, you've got to be an absolute nutbag to want to do that. And to try to be the president of the United States, you got to be a fucking narcissist, like, at another level. And to go back and do it after you lost, man, that's like psychotic shit, right?
Look, I think he felt like he was wronged. I think he felt like, and by the way, he knew that he lost the election, right? But he was
It was
also one
stolen.
of those.
Okay, it was stolen.
But that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Thank you.
But I mean, when you go back and you listen to the tapes and shit like that, he knew that he lost. When you look at all this different stuff, you see all these different times where he has these reckonings where he knows he lost. Now, the two things can be true. Yes, he did lose, but number two, also he was not served very well by the media and the people who provide information to people, because they did obscure facts, they did change narratives, they did look at the worst in everything in order to prevent him from winning. So there's I mean, I don't feel bad for him, because at the end of the day, he's still a scam artist, no matter what. But he's my scam artist. You know what I mean? Like, he's my crypto scam artist. So as long as he's good for crypto, I don't give a shit about the rest of it.
When moon, Dev. When moon. It's
Exactly.
interesting. We were talking about this on my show this morning, and kind of about the whole thing. It's like, listen, like, for a lot of OG people in the space, like, this is the dream come true. Though we're about to have a president. Not only does he hold crypto, he has his own fucking NFT line.
Yeah.
Like, this dude's like, I wouldn't say he's in the trenches. He's not in the trenches, but he's one of us, man. He's in there.
Yeah.
It's a good
I mean, in
feeling.
some fashion, yes. I don't think that he is. To be fair, like, I think he has people that manage everything for him, and I think that Vivek was the guy that converted him.
You think it was Vivek, or do you think it was Barron?
I think the fact that Vivek was the one that converted him led him to start talking to Barron, and Barron's like, bro, like, dad, like,
No, I bet it's the other way around.
crypto's the shit.
No,
You know what I
dude, I
mean?
bet it's the other way around. Barron was just like, yo, dad, check this out, crypto, NFTs, yada, yada. And he's just like, dude, shut the fuck up. And then Vivek comes in and be like, hey, listen to your son. He's a genius.
That probably, yes. That your sperm donation paid off, Donnie. But yeah, I mean, I think that Vivek was the guy that was behind the changing. I think Elon Musk is transactional. He doesn't give a shit. For him, it's just a passing fancy, if you will. He doesn't care one way or another about it. But the important part is he's all in on crypto now, or at least he's willing to say out loud, hey, I'm willing to do a lot of things to make the United States an innovative crypto hub in the world going forward. That's going to make crypto something that's going to put pressure, by the way, for anybody not understanding, that's going to put pressure. First of all, if he starts a strategic reserve, that's going to force other countries to start their own strategic reserve. And if that happens, that's going to create a wild demand for Bitcoin, which is going to drive up prices, which is going to make this thing go absolutely crazy. And then it's going to force China to reconsider their ban. And if they change their ban in some way and just open up the doors to cryptocurrency because they're being forced to by Donald Trump and the Trump administration, then that is to the best advantage for all of us. So just get on board, because there's a big ride coming.
Choo choo. Speaking of the ride and price shock and all that stuff, another thing we wanted to talk about was Saylor MicroStrategy adding another like 50,000 Bitcoin into their pile, something like that, right? I think at this point he's now doubled his money. I think it's like from 15 to 30 billion, something like that, right?
It's over that. His average DCA was somewhere in the neighborhood of 32,000 just recently, and I think it's up to 37,000 now. So, like, he's over 2x up. He looks like a genius.
There you go. Let's see. Here we go. All right. So the additional 51,780 Bitcoin spent 4.6 billion. The company now holds 331,200 Bitcoin acquired for roughly 16.5 billion and worth just shy of 30 billion. Golly.
Unbelievable.
Woo. So,
and by the way, he has a plan. This is only a small part of his plan. His plan was to buy outright $40 billion worth of Bitcoin. So
let me ask you a question. This is great. Pumping the fucking markets. He's a jerk off, though. At what point does he have to start taking profits and nuke the chart?
He does
It's a public company. He's not there
right.
to, they got to realize some of that profit at some point.
The realization of that profit is in the stock. It's not in the Bitcoin.
But okay.
I mean, MicroStrategy is trading today at an all-time high.
He's literally just going to hold it forever.
Do what?
He's just going to hold it forever.
As long as he's in charge. That's the important part, because he's not always going to be in charge. Somebody else will come in and they will pick up they will pick up the ball and run with it. But I mean, here I just like this says it better than anything can. Let me share the screen because it is insane. I mean,
here we go.
This is January. MicroStrategy was trading at $48. Today, $384.
Jeez. Is this going to be like the new Berkshire Hathaway?
Well, I mean, MicroStrategy is up 765% so far this year. So, I mean, they don't have to sell their Bitcoin to increase their value to investors. This was just a digital asset that they were putting on their books, and the speculative portion of it increasing the value overall is what's done it. And I mean, if you catch this bottom over here, January of 23, and do it from there, you're talking about 2,800%.
Jesus.
I mean, he's up 28x. He's up 28x. His Bitcoin doing 2x is bullshit. That's not the pump. It's his genius. It's his marketing strategy. It's everything that's gone along with it that's created this. So he is the asset. MicroStrategy stock is the asset. You want to make profit, that's what you sell.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I think that it's going to be really interesting in a couple of years to see.
Oh, and by the way, one more thing before you go. One more thing. He will never sell his Bitcoin. He will borrow against his Bitcoin.
Smart. Okay.
That's what rich people do. So that Bitcoin is locked in. I don't see a situation unless somebody else takes charge and he's out for some reason. I don't see any reason for them to sell for any time in the next even 10 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it makes sense, right? How long did Warren Buffett hold on to a lot of his stock? He went pretty liquid, I think, this year with like $320-something billion worth of sales into, some liquid cash or whatever. But at some point, he's either going to be the hero or the villain if they become so large and have such a high percentage of the supply, and then something does happen where they have to unload quite a bit of it, or someone else steps in and they do that, like, that may tarnish his legacy, even though he's not there. But see how it goes.
I think in the short term, he doesn't have to worry about his legacy because Bitcoin is now, we've joked all the time. We've said Bitcoin is inevitable. Well, now it really is.
Oh,
so
yeah, we're here. It's here.
It's different now. Like before we were joking about it, saying that one day it's going to happen. One day it's going to happen. Well, that inevitability has already happened. So yeah, he's going to be at the forefront of being a real smart dude.
Hell yeah. Speaking of real smart dudes, what are you seeing on the charts? What are you liking? What are your thoughts on like where we're at? Because honestly, brother, like I'm in a short on Bitcoin, and I've been in a short all week, and I'm totally fine on it. Like I'm underwater a little bit on it, but it's not that big of a deal because I fully expected us to see more of a correction than what we did. And I know we've talked about this. It's come down a couple times, very close to my entry, never really broke it. And I'm okay because we're not going up any higher. I'm okay with hanging on to this thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
So
know
what
for
I
how
see,
long. I don't know
what I
for how
see
long.
right now is a $97,000 Bitcoin in the next couple days.
You think we're going up that high?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I think we're in the shit now. Like it's gonna get it's gonna get fucking wild over the next couple days. Like I think that we've already done 90. I told you guys 90 by the end of the year. We've already tricked out at 90. Now we're at 93. Had that little rip the other day. And look at this. This is consolidating. Like, I mean, if you were to let me break it down to 4 hour. I mean, look at this shit. Like this thing is like we're not coming back down. Like right now, we're getting ready for a new leg up. Like we're getting ready for another explosive move. If we get the explosive rally that we just got playing out, I mean, there's your flag, right? And there's the
Mhm.
top of your flag. If you just consider this, we're looking at $110,000 Bitcoin.
Right.
And by the way, we were looking at a $69,000 Bitcoin not that long ago that became a $73,000 Bitcoin not that long ago. And then we were like, well, sure to God, we can't have, this next gigantic move. Like that's not going to happen. There's no way that that's going to happen. Well, where are we right now? We're at $92,000 Bitcoin
Right. But what
with
about?
no end in sight. And by the way, demand is not going down.
Mhm.
So 110,000 Bitcoin soon. I mean, I think the move that we get right here ultimately will probably play out to 110. And you could make an argument right here that that was kind of your consolidation range right there. So that's where if you take that right there and you say, well, that's the move right there, then it's 103, 104. Sounds a little more tolerable. But I think that's just another consolidation for another big move. I mean, we are in the shit right now. You see consolidation up, you see consolidation up, you see consolidation up, you see consolidation up. I mean, it is
But don't you think it's been too much consolidation up too many times? I feel like we're the analogy that I use on my show is that we're basically a house in Key West sitting on fucking stilts and there's a hurricane coming through, right? Like there's no support. I know that we're building some support where we're at. And we've been doing that for the last week, but literally we're just on we are propped up on nothing all the way down into the high 70s.
so the answer ultimately is yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is like cooked. However, I mean, again, the last time we did this, and we're up about 37, 38%, right? This is actually the perfect opportunity for the retracement that we talked about before. Going back over to 2020, remember what we talked about then. We had that 40% rip. Once we had 40% rip, that's when we got this sort of dipping happening right here towards the end of November. And we're
Right.
getting to that spot in November. But if you really kind of zoom out and you look at it from this context, this was that first rip. Then we consolidated upwards, and then we ripped again, and we consolidated upwards. Eventually, it's going to be a little too much. Now, so that's what I think is going to happen here. That's why I think that 97, that's going to be the spot right there. And then this top
Because
right here,
100K is just too psychological to punch through right now.
just around 97, 98,000 right there. And then that's when the correction is going to happen because I think people get a little bit unstable with we didn't make it to 100,000. You know what I mean? And we'll
Right.
take another shot at it right here. And then that's when we'll do that. We'll hit 100,000. That will have actually achieved the ultimate goal. And then that's where you're going to crash just a little bit more, one more time. And then boom, it's off to the races because it's the new year. At the end of December, whatever you call it.
Mhm.
But like it's almost inevitable. What we're looking for now, ultimately, is this continuation for a couple more days. And if you just consider where are we at? Let's say we've got until the 25th-ish, right? So we've got 7 days. So what
Mhm.
would the 7-day gain look like that we had this last time, right? We go back here and we go back 7 bars
Oh shit, there
and
it's
we
like
look at the 7 bars.
120,000.
That's another 15%
Yeah,
before
that's
we
like
dip.
120,000 or 225,000 or something like that, isn't it?
Well, it was 15% in the 7 days before the dip, and we're about 7 days from where that dip was over here. So if we just consider there's an opportunity for about 15% more pump here over the next 7 days from where we are. You see, we're getting into the 105,000 level. Like, and make an argument maybe that maybe this was the move here, But if you look at that, that's about 21%. Like there's nowhere really where if you're just kind of looking at it, and I know, by the way, like I think everybody should know here, it doesn't always rhyme. It doesn't repeat, but it always rhymes. If we took this last move and we went 15% from the bottom of that last move, 15% of that puts us at about 97,000. So, but the other thing is when you pop open liquidity, which is here, then what are you going for? You're going for where the liquidity is. Where is the liquidity right now? When
Oh,
we
it's
zoom
up.
out to say a month, you're talking about it getting cooked all the way up to what is that, 96? We're still going up. Jesus Christ. There's a lot of people shorting this market right now. There's a lot of people shorting this
I
market.
mean, because we're toppy, dude. We're very toppy.
Let's see what it looks like on the 6-month. Yeah, so we're in price exploration. Okay.
Right. Like it could go one way or the other, really. It's
Yeah.
I
Well, it's
feel
not
like
gonna go
we
down.
gotta
It's not
find.
gonna go too far down. It will go
No,
down.
no.
We will correct.
Yeah, I
But
mean, literally, like I feel like the high 70s, low 80s is as far as it's going to go for a correction right here. We have that gap. If you look at the, and I know that there's really no saying that we have to close the gap, but at the end of the day, like 9 times out of 10 they do close. I feel like we should have closed it already, but it is not without the idea of like, hey, listen, like it's Thanksgiving week. There's always a dump on Thanksgiving week. It's only a 15% dip to clear the gap.
yeah.
It's really
So
not that much.
that's probably when we get that opportunity. So, but I mean, like the next part is to remember going back over here to 2020, what happened immediately after Thanksgiving? The explosive. It got
Yeah,
explosive.
it
We
should
come
dump.
back
It
in
should dump
here.
next
This
week and then
was
oh,
this was the dump, right? This corresponds with Thanksgiving, and then this is December. All the way through December, I mean, we just mooned and mooned and mooned and mooned and mooned. So, you know, this market is about to go absolutely bonkers.
dude. See a couple things in the chat. We got an inverse head and shoulder. I got Neil saying we got an inverse head and shoulders on the 5-minute chart. Let's see. History says we come down next week. It's from Blocky. We come down next week. Fine either way,
Yep.
but got to come down every cycle. Let's see. You know what? I think I want some of what I saw this thing. Now I got to find it. Someone was asking. Here we go. This guy's name is wrong. It's always so right on everything, but this one drove me like it made my brain explode. Do you see Bitcoin going to $1 billion per each? I want some of that.
It's not
Well,
enough. Yeah, I mean, there's not enough money in the world right now for that. Just $1 million
why?
is
It's only 21 billion, bro.
well, if it's $1 billion and there's 1 million of them, then you're talking about trillions upon trillions. And then market capital is just going to be way too high up there.
I was messing with you. I always love like those jokes when people are just like, "Oh, there's 350 million dollars going to Ukraine. That's enough for every person in America to have 1 million, 350 million." Be like, "Oh yeah, dude, totally. Like that's the math checks out, brother."
Yeah, people, Jesus Christ, those people are just they blow my brains like, whoo.
Woo-hoo. Okay, so honestly, like, and let's just we can wrap it up on the whole Bitcoin talk, and then I think we probably got to take it off for the day. I got to get rolling to the gym, but the whole idea of where we're at in this cycle, I feel like we're still way too early to even be where we are. I'll accept it. We're hanging tough at the 90s. We're building up the volume there. But I just, I feel like the push towards 97 that is just so fucking close to 100K. I just don't think we're ready for it. I don't think we have the support. I don't think we have the chops for it. Now, I could be absolutely wrong, especially if we start to see more and more countries really want to build the strategic reserves. Did you see the thing about the guy who's running for president of Poland, who says if he's elected, he wants to add the strategic reserve for the country of Poland? Like, dude, I guarantee you the supply shock is just very soon on Bitcoin is going to be very hard to get to be a whole coiner.
Yeah. Well, so let me tell you to conclude what we were talking about. Remember, it double dipped, right? It made a bearish divergence and it dipped out. So what I think is going to happen is this right here. That's where the correction comes in. That's where we come back down here. Then we come back up here a little bit higher. We get 100,000. And that's when a lot of people say, you know what? I fucking made it. I can't believe it. I fucking made it. And then we come down into 87, maybe 83. And then all of a sudden it is gone. It is gone, baby, gone until we get up into the big ranges, which are going to be like up in here. Like I think that we just start going banana zone. We basically just hit the banana zone right there, after this next dip. So that's what's most likely going to happen. That's what happened last time. And Joe Biden was not a pro crypto president. Okay. We were still neophytes at that time. We had no idea what was going to happen or anything like that. Now we know. So it's going to be even more bullish. So, when you look at it, it's just going to be bam, bam, bam up here, come back down, and then it is off to the races.
The moon in Lamboville. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Now, if that plays out, you guys owe me like some crack or whatever. I don't know what people are trading these days, but
what are you trading these days, meme coin wise?
I'm not touching meme coins, to be fair. Like if somebody comes to me for a promo, mostly I take USDC or I take USDT. I don't really take stuff for but I take it from a few, like MSI because of Pablo Crow, because he's my buddy. CC, she sends me coins, chick coins every once in a while because I do promos for her. So there's a couple of them that I do take. And other than that, the only thing that I want to accumulate, by the way, Devi and API 3. Those are my two conviction plays that I'm going to hold on to through this bull run and see how they go.
Hell yeah, dude. I was looking at the Devi price a little bit down today, which is good. I know that thing's probably getting ready to rocket ship up, API 3 up a good amount, almost 10% today. So some good picks,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, they're and Devi is actually in the green again today. Like I was hoping I was hoping for more of a dip towards the end of this month, but I mean, you just never know. What I think now is going to happen is I think we're going to pop up in here and do like 43, 44 cents, fill out that channel a little bit, and then, bing bong around until it's time to explode.
Bing bong. Bing bong.
And then what Frankie the candle guy said, bing bong. The Frankie the candle guy, was that him?
Frankie the candle. Yeah, I like Frank. Frankie
he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I got a chance to see him in Nashville when we were out there for the Bitcoin conference. It was good to see him. Yeah, dude. There's a couple coins I'm looking at. We had, VHS is one that I'm looking at. I mean, we talk about meme coins, man. Everything's got the shit played out. The alpha it's not cats, it's not dogs, frogs, goats, whatever. VHS, man. It's a nostalgia play on Blockbuster. Everybody remembers Blockbuster Video. Yeah. So that seems to be kind of one that's capturing my attention right now, and just hit $1 million market cap, which is fantastic. Love to watch this thing grow. I think we started talking about it at like a $300,000 market cap. So nice to see that 3x over the last week.
Speaking of VHS, did you ever watch AEW?
How do I know that? What is that?
It's the wrestling organization, AEW.
Yeah.
They have a tag team called the Outrunners. Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum, and I cannot tell you how hilarious they are. They're both bleach blonde, brown, Hulk Hogan looking clones. They call themselves the Outrunners. They do the most ridiculous stuff, and all their vignettes and promos that they do them on VHS tape.
Oh, dude, that's badass.
I mean, I'm sure they use it digital, but they have like a VHS filter so that it looks like it comes from the 80s. Like it'll be them running down an alley to save something, and they'll stop and at the very end of it, and they'll shake hands or something just ridiculous.
Oh, that's
funny. And it looks like it comes straight out of the 80s.
That's great. Well, shit. I know we had a couple other things to talk about, but I got to get rolling. Dude, I'm looking forward to do this again Monday. Hopefully Bitcoin does what it needs to do. I personally would love to see. And listen, don't get me wrong, guys. When I talk about being in a short and I'm kind of skeptical about all this stuff, like I'm a fucking bull. I'm extremely bullish. I just also am very realistic that we came up pretty quick. We don't have a whole lot of support, and I understand that we're building some. But as far as really taking the next leg up, I feel in my heart of hearts we've got to come back down, gather the troops, and then get that support, and then rip, and then we could punch. Then we punch back up to 97, come back down. I think it's going to take a while, honestly. Probably going to be in December, closer to the end of the year, before we actually break through 100. But it's just I'm just a guy on the internet.
And you know what? I normally, if I were looking at it if I were objective about it, I would be looking at it the same way, saying, it's got to be a dip. It's got to be coming. We are going to get it. Of course, it's coming. But everything else right now tells me that all of you guys who are wanting to short, you're just willing it to happen. You know what I mean? Like it's got to come down at some point, and you're taking these shots, and the bulls are just eating up they're just eating up liquidity every single time. And there's just too much momentum right now. We need that calm spot, and that calm spot, the traders are kind of, they're going right now. Traders are just churning. People are returning. We're starting to see that bull run manifest itself. Are we in altcoin season? No, but total 1 is 1.93% today. Total 2 and 3 are both 2.4. So money is coming into altcoins, coming out of Bitcoin just a little bit. So, the dynamic is there for a continuation right now. It's there for continuation, not a dump. So we need that holiday season when the markets have an opportunity for the bears to step in and say, you know what? Fuck all of you guys that took these longs at 75,000. You know what I mean? Like, and we don't have that right now. There's just too much strength in this market.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it all plays out, man. I'm super excited about it. Super bullish. I know we're going to have a great bull run. Guys, make sure you smash the like, hit the heart, do the things you got to do. Reward yourself for being here and hanging out. You literally could be anywhere, but you chose to spend the last 25 minutes with Bleeves and I. So pat yourself on the back and hit the like button, and we appreciate you. All right. That's it. Adios, amigos.
All right, you guys.
Appreciate you again, man. As always, I love these Monday shows. We'll be back tomorrow for the breakfast table, 9 a.m. Eastern. Ciao for now, mi amigos.